So a long time ago, I had a breakdown, a mental breakdown. I recovered. I went on and earned a degree. I rebuilt my life from rubble. And I discovered something that nobody warned me about. Recovery doesn't erase the label. Like everybody talks about all the things you should do, go to therapy, get help, take the medication, heal, do all the work. And I did all of it. But what I wasn't prepared for was that thing that nobody told me about. That other people don't always let you move on. I mean, some do, many don't. And you can spend years working hard and becoming a completely different person while they continue to see you through the lens of the worst chapter of your life. So many years ago, I went through what I would describe as a major mental health crisis, although that's an understatement. And I recovered, I rebuilt and moved on. But at that time, when I just didn't fully understand why people looked at me differently, and I wanted to sort of study that phenomena. So I went on and I did a diploma in social work, a degree in psychology, and I just genuinely wanted to understand, not just for myself, but for others and how I could help them. I thought that if I learned enough, healed enough, grew enough, that people would eventually stop seeing me through that whole mess of my life. But I discovered that just life doesn't always work that way. For the most part, we'd all moved on, but there were those quiet moments where the label would reappear. I'd join a conversation about mental health. I'd share an opinion grounded not just in my own experience, but in years of formal study. And sometimes I'd feel it, a tiny pause, that sideways glance, almost as if people were thinking, of course she'd say that. Not because my ideas lacked merit, but because in their minds, my past had quietly become my identity. That's when I learned something nobody had ever warned me about. Recovery doesn't automatically restore credibility. For some people, your history becomes the filter through which they see everything you do, your opinions, your life decisions, even your expertise. And once I started noticing it, I couldn't stop. Like I'd see a missing persons case on the news. The moment it emerged that they'd once struggled with depression or something, the public conversation shifted. Suddenly their entire life was reinterpreted through that single fact, and it was as if they were almost dismissed. And I couldn't help wondering, if we do that with strangers, how often do we do that to those around us, the people we know? For years, I just spent my time trying to change people's minds. I thought if I achieved enough and studied enough and proved myself enough, that eventually people would see me as I am now, not as I was then. Some did, of course, and some never will. And then somewhere after 60, I had one of the most freeing realizations of my life. I can't control the narrative that other people choose to tell about me. I can't make someone update the image that they carry in their mind. I can't force anyone to see who I am today instead of who I was all those years ago. And really, if they knew the full story of my trauma, they probably would have ended up right where I was. So I did something that kind of changed everything. I left Canada, moved to Mexico, not because I was running away, but because I wanted a fresh start. I wanted to wake up in a place where nobody had the old version of me on file. I built a quieter life, a I finally started writing the thing I'd dreamed of doing for years. I began making videos like this one. I discovered the ocean, actually getting in it, swimming in it, and realized we're all just these little beings bobbing around in this great big sea. Most surprisingly of all, I found love. And together we built a life where we're not defined by our past. And somewhere in all of that, I found something I'd been chasing my whole adult life. Peace. Not the kind that comes from convincing everyone you've changed. The kind that comes from building a life that reflects who you are now, whether people acknowledge it or not. And here's what nobody told me. Some people will always remember the worst chapter of your life and stubbornly refuse to see you for who you are now. But that's their story, and it doesn't have to be yours. The older I've become, the more I understood something simple. My energy is precious. I'd rather spend it writing, creating, loving, learning, swimming in the ocean, building a life that brings me peace, rather than try to convince anyone to rewrite a story they've already decided to believe. After 60, I can honestly say I give far less weight to what other people think than I ever did when I was younger. Not because I've become hard or I just don't care about what people think, but because I finally learned the difference between listening to wise advice and living for someone else's approval. If you've ever felt trapped by a label, whether it was, mental health, addiction, divorce, failure, or anything else, I'd love to hear from you. And have you ever reached that point where you stopped trying to change other people's opinions and simply started living your own life? Because maybe that's the lesson nobody told us. Not everyone will let us move on, and that's okay. Until next time, protect your peace.